If you're like most people, you can probably think of a situation when someone was trying to sell you something and it was so boring that you could hardly wait to get out of there. But as a salesperson, the real nightmare is inspiring that same tuned out feeling in your prospects. You may not think you are, but how do you really know? Believe it or not, that nightmare came true for me at the beginning of my sales career 40 years ago. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was fresh out of school and had just started a job that I thought was just a stepping stone. Little did I know that it was going to be the bedrock of my career. I was selling men's suits for a small independent clothing store owned by Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Blackaby in the small college town I went to school at in New Mexico. They were wonderful people. I was waiting on a prominent businessman from the local community, and I think he knew I was green. He was a friend of Mr. Blackaby's. I wonder to this day if it was a setup. And if it was, I'm thankful for it because I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my sales career. People don't care about how much you know. What they care about is how much you know about what they care about. Long story short, this gentleman stopped me dead in my tracks as I was doing a presentation on a suit line that he was interested in. What he said rocked me to the core, and I'll never forget it. He said this: "Stop, please stop. Can you stop talking long enough to ask me a few questions about what I care about and why I want to buy a new suit?" He continued, Yeah, you may know what I want because I told you, but what you don't know is why I want it, do you?" All I could think to do was be honest. No, sir, I don't. I thought I did, but now I'm really not sure. He smiled at me, and that's why I think it might have been a setup. And he said this: "Son, take the time to find out why I want it before you tell me why I need it. And trust me, I'll listen to you. Because when you understand the emotion behind why a person wants something, then you can speak with conviction and tailor your presentation, no pun intended, to their real reason for buying. I promise, when you're addressing that, people will listen." Wow, what a lesson that was, and what a foundation it set up for my career that I've enjoyed for the last 40 years. Why am I telling you this story? I'd love to share with you what I've discovered about selling as a result of that lesson. I know that it will not only help you personally, but it can also help you coach your team members to speak the language that prospective boat buyers want to hear. I don't care about what you're selling in your dealership, boats, accessories, service. The system and strategies I've developed from what I've learned so many years ago will simply help you sell more. In fact, it's even more relevant today than it was back then. When you engage a prospective buyer and talk about what's important to them, then you build value. That's a fundamental part of what the best sales strategies are all about. Building value on the one side to offset the investment on the other. But guess what? Because today's prospects are much farther along in the decision-making process before they even contact the dealership, it's more important than ever that your salespeople get it right the first time. My name is Jim Million of Professional Resource Group, and the course that I'd like to introduce you to is called Buyer Motivation, the Key to Building Value. I've developed this course for MRAA as the pilot for their continuous certification series of e-learning courses. In it, I'll share with you the emotional reasons for buying, how to identify them, how to categorize them, and how to present features and benefits that are tailored to them. I'll give you handouts you can use with your team to learn and practice with. I'll share ideas on what you can do with your team to teach them and coach them through their learning as well. And as a bonus, you'll get a list of sales books that I've read over the last 40 years that were so valuable to me that they remain in my library of over 4,000 books. So get ready to learn how to move your dealership's numbers in the right direction. Not only sales and profitability, but customer satisfaction and loyalty as well. Now, because you're all invited to participate in this pilot course as part of the kickoff of the all-new Continuous Certification Program, just visit mraatraining.com to get started and click on the Buyer Motivation Key to Building Value course under the New and Popular E-Learning Courses section. Thanks for listening and happy learning.